It's now my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today, Brock McNabb. Brock McNabb is a readjustment counselor for the VA's Vet Center program. A combat veteran, McNabb served 2 tours in Iraq as an Army medic with the 1st Infantry Division. A graduate of the University of Southern California with a master's degree in social work, McNabb serves a dual role as a mental health counselor and as an outreach specialist. He has traveled around the country speaking as an educator for both military and veteran culture and is originally from Chicago, Illinois. This is his last public appearance in California since he is being promoted and located out of state, and we're very honored to have him here with us today. Thank you, Brock.
Good afternoon, veterans, veterans' families, countrymen, countrywomen, fellow citizens. I am profoundly humbled to be here today. This is probably the most remarkable holiday that we have. 4th of July does celebrate our independence, but without the people that gave everything, we wouldn't have that. So today is the most sacred of days. A little bit about me. As was said, I am a combat veteran myself. Did 6 years in the Army, and I still continue to serve in the Air Force Reserves. No one prepares you to be a soldier. No one prepares you to be a veteran until you go. And for those of you that have been in harm's way, you know exactly what I'm talking about. No one prepares you for the first shot fired in anger, the first bomb dropped on you out of hate, the first person that tries to take your life because of the uniform you wear and by the country you call home. I'll illustrate this by telling you about Memorial Day of 2004. It was the first time I had ever been shot at. My patrol was in Karnabat, Iraq, on a small canal road at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were ambushed by a superior number of enemy forces. We were engaged at 50 meters from roughly 25 enemy combatants, and we were fighting for our very lives. The fear that overcomes you, because no amount of training can prepare you for this moment, is overwhelming. The thought that I might not survive the next 30 seconds is actually very prevalent in your heart. And then you look down the line and you see your fellow countrymen beside you. And that's when you realize this sense of family then overcomes you. These soldiers who are next to you, they might call God by a different name. They might be a different culture. They might be a different ethnicity. In some cases, they might even be a different gender. But you're all the same. It's a bond that was created, and I knew from that moment I would never be the same. So I was asked to speak today to discuss just a couple of things, and like all soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines, since the beginning of time, no one likes standing in formation for a long period of time listening to someone talk, so I will keep this short and keep this sweet. But I will mention a couple things to do us honor and to do those who have fallen an equal honor as well. The issues facing veterans when they come back from experiencing just something like I just described, or something similar, in their own way, facing a traumatic experience where they find themselves looking at themselves differently, and for those of whom they've served, maybe with more a kinship than they do their own family members. Throughout time, people have heard about the byproducts of war. Citizens have heard about PTSD and readjustment issues, but what does it mean? Usually when I talk to other active duty troops that have been in harm's way, I talk to them about, do they know what I mean when all of a sudden it's 3 o'clock in the morning and they find themselves low crawling through their living room? Or they have the 2-year-old in diapers standing fire guard outside the kitchen. Or they're driving down the road, and all of a sudden they see a box on the side of the road. Just some random litter to the average citizen, but to us it just might be that bomb that kills us all. And so they drive into the opposing lane of traffic, much to the chagrin of their screaming family members in the car with them. Those are readjustment issues, and those are just a few. There are many, many more. As I sit here and I see all these veterans looking back at me, you know what I'm talking about. In fact, while I talk and while you sit there, my guess is you're thinking about many things of your military past. That's part of being a veteran too. It's unable to differentiate the present from the past. The past lives inside us all, every day, every moment. So how do we care for those who've seen the other side of humanity? How do we care for those who've seen the dark side? What can our community and our citizens do? And this was a question that was asked of me. For those of you that are concerned citizens and family members, what can we do? I'll answer you this. You do your duty each in your own way. There is no universal way. There is no answer. There is no community group type of honor that you can pay that is better than another. Each do it in your own way. Be the only person on your block to fly the American flag. Approach a veteran for no reason at all other than to say thank you for your service. Go to a veteran's cemetery on a day such as Memorial Day and just pay homage to those who have fallen. Call someone that you know that is a veteran and say thank you. The ideas are limitless. The whole idea is if a veteran is in your mind, or if a veteran approaches you and they want to talk and tell you their story, that's an honor. You don't have to know what to say. Just give them the gift of your time, because in the end, that is the greatest gift we can give anybody, our time. What you don't realize, my fellow countrymen, is that you already all do so much. Look at you all here, celebrating the most pious day of our nation. You all are here. This is how you support our veterans. This is how you support our servicemen. This is how you support our fallen. Being here and sharing this together. I go back to that firefight I was telling you about. Unfortunately, I was in many other firefights. And in closing, I'll leave this with you. When I was in that firefight, along with the others, especially when we fought in November 2004 in a city called Fallujah, we honestly didn't think we were going to survive the battle. There was no way. We were told 1 out of 2 of us will be dead. And to know that and to still go into battle, that says something about our fighting men and women in uniform. And then it dawned on me, what are we fighting for, right? We always ask ourselves that. What are we fighting for? Well, we fight for our country. There's that abstract idea that we're fighting for our country. And I still didn't get that. I said, what is our country? What is our country? I'm trying to define it. Is it these beautiful hills? Is it these trees? What is our country? And then I realized it. While I was scared to death and I was standing on line with my fellow countrymen, I looked over, and back in those days we wore these things called desert combat uniforms. They were these tan uniforms, a little bit different than they wear right now. And on these tan uniforms that were supposed to blend into the natural environment, we had a big, bright red, white, and blue patch on the side of our uniform. And I'm like, my God, the snipers are going to find us for sure. That's so untactical. But then I got it. It dawned on me like a ray of light. When we're in harm's way and you are scared for your life and you don't even know if you're going to make it the next few seconds, I look down at that countryman next to me and I see the red, white, and blue. Ladies and gentlemen, the person wearing that uniform and wearing that flag, that is my country. That is my country. And that is the point. So it has nothing to do with the homeland. It doesn't. America is wonderful ground. It really is. It's a great home. But it has to do with the people you call home. I had a conversation in 2004 with my mother. I had to wait in line for an hour to get on these DMVT phones just so you can spend 20 minutes calling home. And it's a 3-second delay and it's horrible. And I eventually decided after a few firefights that I better have the talk that all folks have to have with their mothers. The "Mom, if I don't come home" talk. So as I'm talking to my mom, I say, "Mom, if I don't come home, if something happens to me, it's going to be okay." And she asked me, you believe in the war this much?" I said, "No, Mom, I believe in my men, and they're worth dying for." So on this Memorial Day, please take with you one thing that I hope you will never, ever forget. As our countrymen, you all are our country. And because of this, Memorial Day exists for those who have worn our uniforms and fallen. They knew this better than anybody. They figured it out, and they realized that you are all worth fighting for, and you are all worth dying for. May you find peace this Memorial Day. Thank you all so very much.